Hello friends, and welcome to Figure Study, where once again we are looking at a figure that does not transform. In this case, that is the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch Clone Commander Obi-Wan Kenobi. I want to say up front, I'm really happy I managed to get this guy. Also, in case anyone's wondering, I picked this one up from the Chosen Prime. I'm going to include a link in the description if you want to see if they still have any in stock. I'm not entirely sure if they will still have them in stock as of when this video goes up, but if you are so inclined to check, you can follow the link. But if you are curious in finding this figure just at retail, I believe he's supposed to be a Walmart exclusive, so supposedly he has started popping up in places, or he will soon. I think I remember seeing something that he was supposed to be showing up in October, but I think maybe some people found him already in a few places. I don't know for sure. Our toy selection around here is terrible, so whether or not I can find him doesn't really mean anything. But your mileage may vary. Anyway, Clone Commander Kenobi, as I understand it, his design is based off of the 2D animated, not the 3D animated Clone Wars series, but the 2D animated kind of mini-series of Clone Wars that was done by the same guy who did Samurai Jack and I think Powerpuff Girls in Dexter's Laboratory. It's a cool series either way, but I believe that's what this design is based off of, but it's designed in more of a real-world way. So, the way that this whole outfit is done is more, I believe, meant to evoke the cartoon, but it has more of a, live-action style, especially seeing as how he's got the very obvious Ewan McGregor head, which we'll look at in a minute. I think this figure is fantastic. Articulation's a little bit limited in places, which we'll get into in a minute, but I love this. Just as soon as I saw this figure, I was like, I want that, because there's something really cool to me about how it combines both the Republic soldier armor aesthetic with the Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi robe aesthetic. I really like that. I like that mixture of elements, and I think it works pretty darn well with how you've got kind of like it kind of evokes a robe the way that this bit comes down and across the legs, and then he's also got a bit of a cape. And this is actually, bringing me closer here, all this brown is fabric. So it's, it's its own thing. It goes all the way along the back, loops through the arms, or the arms loop through it, comes down through these little button connectors here, goes around the torso, down through the waist, and it's all fabric. And that's cool. It moves really well with the figure. You can, twist, and the fabric will twist along with the torso, and it's just cool. I really like how they did this. And like I said, I like the combination of design aesthetics with the armor and the Jedi robes. And the cape, you also have a couple of options where you can drape it over the shoulders a little bit more, or you can kind of have it, what I like to do, have it go back and just kind of have the edges kind of go underneath the shoulder pauldrons a little bit, so it just kind of narrows it down a little bit more, but it still flows. It still flows very nicely, but you just get a little bit more of the armor showing through when you do it this way. I like that it gives you options. From what I can tell, I think this body is primarily the regular Republic soldier body. I don't know for sure because I don't have any regular Republic soldier figures. I have Captain Rex and Commander Wolf from the Black Series, but that's it. I have other Black Series figures, but that's it for the Republic Commando, Republic Troop armor bodies. So I don't know how much that's true. I don't know if they made any changes to this versus the original, other than obviously attaching the brown robes and the little bits there and the Ewan McGregor head. The detailing's nice. It's got that nice kind of pristine white and black color scheme. And there is some detailing in here. It's very simple, but that's kind of the point. The trooper armor is always kind of, I guess, almost sterile in a way, like how a lot of the Empire environments in the movies just look very kind of stark and clean, but in an almost disturbing way. So it kind of works here. Then you've also got some detailing on the black bits, just a little bit of texture for the gloves, for in between the elbows and the shoulders there, to kind of make it look like there's a bodysuit with armor on top of it. I'm pretty sure, like, you can just kind of see the bump of the whatever that back detailing is that's typically on these figures. I'm pretty sure that that's in there. I don't really want to take this whole thing off to check. It is, simple black and white, but that's, I think, one of the reasons why I really love the robes here, is because, yeah, it's like a simple black and white design, but then you got this really nice bit of brown all over it that really mixes up the colors a bit. And as you may notice, he does have his lightsaber, which just pegs onto the belt there. I don't remember enough of lightsaber details to know how accurate this is to Obi-Wan's lightsaber, but it's tiny and it has a lot of nice details with the gray plastic. I think it's gray plastic with the black on the grip, and then the gold-ish color for what I think is the button and the little section here. I had it like this to attach it to his belt, but it, of course, comes with the blade, which you can just stick right in there, and then you've got the full activated lightsaber. That is looking a little bit off-center there. It might have gotten a little warped in the package, I don't know for sure, but it looks fine when he's holding it, so it doesn't really bother me too much. And the other accessory that you get is the stand, which is one of those weird stands where, like, you just slot the foot in there, and that's it. And it's fine, it works. He doesn't really need it. He can hold a pose just fine. So I was excited about this because I could put my K2SO in here, because as per Evangelus's review, which you can check out right up here, K2SO, the Black Series K2SO, has a tendency to just kind of fall over after a few minutes, and that's really irritating. So I was excited to get this because it meant that I could, give him a stabilizer. And it doesn't make a difference. K2SO still falls over, even with the stand in place, so that's a little annoying. But anyway, we're talking about this figure, and this figure is great. Moving things in a bit to look at that head, that is a very, very nice Star Wars prequel trilogy Ewan McGregor head. The face looks pretty dead on to me. I guess this uses, the face printing technology is what they call it, but it looks pretty darn great. I always thought the bearded Obi-Wan Kenobi, like the younger but still bearded Obi-Wan Kenobi, looked pretty cool. There's a little bit of unpainted fleshiness in his jawline there, but that's fine. Yeah, the detailing is nice, the texture on the beard, the paint, texture on the hair, on the face. It's got some nice kind of around the cheeks there. The eyes look pretty solid. I think it looks like they're looking forward rather than slightly off to the side. I don't know. I like this look as much as I'm not a fan of the prequels, as are most people, I'm sure. I know there are plenty that are not trying to get into that, but as much as I'm not a fan of the prequels, I do like the Clone Wars cartoon series. I want to watch Rebels, but it's not available for streaming anywhere that we have an account right now. But it made me appreciate the universe, not the universe, but it made me appreciate the stuff that the prequels kind of set up by watching some of that tertiary media. But anyway, I always thought this was a cool look for Obi-Wan. So now that we've got the head out of the way and all that stuff, let's talk about posability, which is not something I do that often, so bear with me if I do things a little bit weird or off. The head, I believe, is on a ball joint. You can look, tilt left and right, look up and down a bit. And then there's also a hinge here that allows it to go much further down, much further back. So you can get some nice range on the head there. The shoulders are both hindered and not. They want, like this one in particular, wants to go over the armor there, which only allows it to come out about that much. But I find that if you tilt back a little bit and kind of push this down, you can kind of get it underneath the armor. And if it goes underneath the armor, then you can actually bring it out further. This side, it seems to want to do that more naturally, where you can kind of get it under there, and there you go. You do kind of have to push the robes out of the way to get it to do that, but it still works. So you can get pretty decent out. You got the all the way around, of course. Bicep swivel. You get double jointed elbow, but because of this bit on the armor there, it just does not go in that far. I've seen modifications that people have made where they were able to carve that away and give them a little bit more range, but I think it's okay for what it is. You get about 90. It's fine. For the wrists, both can rotate. This wrist can go up and down, which I think is really handy for him, as a lightsaber wielder. This hand goes in and out, like so. Can't really go out too much because of the plate there, though. You got the ball-jointed torso, so you can go back, forward, twist left and twist right. And as I said, like, this robe works really naturally with the joint. You might have to do some readjustments here and there, but it really does kind of just flow. The belt is a separate piece, so it can rotate around if you want it to. I feel like this bit is typically supposed to be facing the back. Then for the legs, they can go out, not terribly far, but it's bulky armor. It's reasonable to think that it would impede the movement a bit. Can go back about that far, can go forward. If you start to turn the leg, can go forward all the way. If you don't turn it, it goes forward about like that. There's thigh swivel. That's the one thing with these that's a little weird, the way the armor is designed, is these points here. They don't get in the way of or ruin the robes, but like as you kind of look at it, like you try to keep it down, like this kind of comes up because of this little point sticking out there, and as you turn it, it kind of more flows a little bit more naturally, but then his legs are kind of splayed out weird. That's just the armor design. I don't know if it's really the figure's fault. And you've got a double jointed knee that goes a little bit past, a decent amount past 90 degrees. But again, like the elbow, because you've got this bit going around back here, it kind of gets in the way, which is a shame, but what can you do? Though I am now just noticing how, for some reason, this line goes all the way across the inside of the knee on one leg and not the other. Not entirely sure why that is, because the actual knee pads look the same on both of them. You don't really notice it because it's the back of the knee, but that's how that is. And then the ankles can not really go back that far because of this bit coming down. Can go forward a decent amount, and then can pivot left and right. The feet are a little bit, one of the things that kind of bums me out about the feet is they're detented, the way they bend forward like that. So it's like, there's that, and then you can kind of cheat it a little bit, but like, it makes it more difficult to get him situated if you have like a specific degree in mind, and he'll like not quite, he won't quite stand. Okay. You have to kind of futz with them a little bit to get the angles right, just because of those ankles, but it's not a huge deal. It's fine. Just requires a little bit of finesse, and I'm okay with a little bit of finesse. And might as well give him his lightsaber. So put this in here. Trying to go like on the black section rather than the gold section because I don't want to potentially damage the paint. I'm not 100% sure how to angle this as per the way he normally holds his lightsaber, but it works. And then, as I said, you can kind of angle the arm down, have it kind of angled down like he's semi at rest, I guess. I don't know. I think he can look pretty darn cool just standing there. Yeah, just standing there like he's semi at the ready is pretty darn cool. So move him off to the side and do a little adjustment so we can do our size comparisons. Here he is with a Transformers Deluxe, kind of a standard-ish Deluxe, and definitely taller, but then again, it's the 6-inch Black Series, so that's kind of to be expected. And I normally tend to prefer not doing size comparisons with figures I haven't done videos on yet, but since I haven't done anything in the Star Wars Black Series yet, I figure I probably should. So here he is with Captain Rex. And Captain Rex is a little bit taller, but that's just because of the helmet there. And there he is with the duck tank. And that is going to do it for the Star Wars Black Series 6-inch clone commander Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like I said, he's, I think, a pretty standard trooper body, I think, but I don't have enough of these things to know for sure. I can definitely see some similarities between him and Captain Rex's design. Their armor structure is very similar. But as I said, this is a really cool kind of mixture of the Republic Trooper armor and Jedi robes, which is just neat. And as I said, I like the look of young bearded Obi-Wan Kenobi. Much better than Episode 1 Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, it probably, he as a character and his design has grown on me definitely because of Clone Wars, the TV show, not the movie. But this just looks so cool. I really, really like this. And yeah, posability is a little hampered by the armor, but I was surprised at how little the robes actually hamper anything. Like I said, it just kind of flows naturally with everything, and you can do some adjustments, some minor adjustments, but you can do some. It's a really cool figure. I want to say this is my favorite Black Series figure, but that's not saying much because this is the first one I've ever done a video on. But in terms of Black Series figures that I currently have, I have Captain Rex, obviously, Commander Wolf, also, because I've mentioned that before, the Scarif Trooper from, I believe, Rogue One, K2SO, the Imperial Guard, the standard red one, and I might mispronounce the name. I am sorry if I do, but I haven't seen Rebels yet, but I have Sabine Wren. I don't know, I just thought that her design looked really cool, and so going to be looking at her at some point in the future, too. I'm going to be looking at them all at some point in the future. Those are all the blacks. Oh, wait, no. Boba Fett. I also have Boba Fett. And yeah, of them all, I feel like Clone Commander Obi-Wan Kenobi is my favorite, purely just aesthetics-wise. But that's enough about what I think. What do you all think of this figure? Is this something that you've been looking forward to since you saw that it was coming out? Or is this something that you've never noticed was coming out, and now you know, and now you're going to be looking for it? Do you not care because it's just yet another clone trooper body with some extra stuff thrown on it? I'm sure many of you have much, much more extensive Star Wars Black Series figure collections than I do, but which one's your favorite? And also, I do want to say, do not worry, please don't worry, there's still a lot of Transformers figures that I have that I can talk about, that I plan on talking about. My collection of non-transforming figures is not even one full shelf, and I don't see myself adding too many more to that in the future, with a few exceptions, but yeah, I'm not moving off of Transformers and moving on to things like the Black Series or Marvel Legends or 3A stuff or anything like that. Like, I might dip a toe here and there, but I'm not changing the collection. Like, it's still primarily going to be transforming toys, so no worries there. But anyway, whatever your thoughts on any of this stuff, feel free to chime in down below. I always enjoy hearing from you all. And while you're at it, also feel free to like, subscribe, or if you're feeling generous, you could buy me a coffee. Any of those things would make me a happy Rob. And remember, art is more than meets the eye.